Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny afternoon, the local neighborhood playground was filled with the sounds of laughter and children playing. But suddenly, the happy mood changed. A 5-year-old boy stood in the middle of the grass, pointing his finger and shouting mean words at another little kid. "You're ugly and nobody wants to play with you," the boy yelled angrily. The other child looked down, his eyes filling with tears as he clutched his toy tightly to his chest. An elderly grandmother sitting on a nearby bench saw exactly what happened. Instead of getting angry, she smiled gently, stood up, and walked over to the upset boy. In her hands, she held a small wooden basket containing 2 identical, bright red, perfectly shiny apples. "Excuse me, young man," the grandmother said in a calm, soothing voice. "I want to show you something." She reached into her basket and handed him the first red apple. "Take this apple," she instructed. "Tell it how much you dislike it. Call it names and say mean things to it." The 5-year-old boy was confused, but he held the apple up and began to shout at it. "You're a horrible apple. You taste terrible, you look ugly, and you're completely useless." The grandmother took the first apple back and handed him the second one, which looked exactly the same. "Now," she said softly, "take this other apple and say beautiful, kind things to it." The boy's expression softened. He looked down at the smooth red fruit and spoke to it in a sweet, gentle whisper. "You are a beautiful apple. You're the best apple in the whole world, and everybody loves you." The grandmother took the second apple back and set them both down on the picnic table. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a small kitchen knife, and carefully sliced both apples directly down the middle. "Look closely," the grandmother said. The boy leaned in, and his eyes grew wide with total shock. On the outside, both apples had looked completely perfect, but on the inside, they were completely different. The apple that the boy had yelled at was dark, mushy, and completely rotten to the core. The apple that he had spoken kindly to was bright white, crisp, and beautifully juicy. The boy looked up at the grandmother, confused. "How did that happen?" The grandmother placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "You see, my dear, on the outside, people might look perfectly fine, but when we say mean words to them, those words drop deep inside. Just like this apple, cruel words rot a person's heart from the inside out, where nobody else can see the pain. Our words have the power to destroy, or the power to make things beautiful." The 5-year-old boy looked at the dark, rotten apple, and then looked over at the little kid, who was still wiping tears from his eyes. He felt a deep wave of sadness for what he had done. He walked slowly across the grass, hung his head, and looked the other child in the eyes. "I'm so sorry for the mean things I said to you," the boy said sincerely. "I didn't mean it. Will you please play with me?" The other child smiled, the sadness completely disappearing from his face. "Sure," he said, handing him a toy. And as the grandmother watched from the bench, the 2 boys ran off to play together, their hearts happy and bright. The boy learned, words don't leave scars on the outside, they rot the heart from within. And you should choose your words carefully,